willkommen bei 60 Minuten Garbage. Ich habe diese tolle Band vor ein paar Wochen in Madison, Wisconsin für euch getroffen und was dabei rauskam, das werdet ihr in den nächsten 60 Minuten sehen. Ihr könnt auch noch gewinnen, nämlich ihr aktuelles Album Beautiful Garbage, in dem ihr mir einfach die Frage beantwortet, welche Jahrhundertalben wurden noch in den Smart Studios aufgenommen? Smart Studios Wisconsin, dazu später noch mehr. Jetzt seht ihr erstmal den aktuellen Clip von Garbage. Ich wünsche euch viel Spaß. Bis gleich. Hallo, salut und herzlich willkommen zu einer Stunde Rock'n'Roll. Heute bei Turo ganz hoheitlicher Besuch. Ich habe das Vergnügen, heute hier in Wisconsin, Madison, Garbage zu treffen. So it's a great pleasure to have you here on my show.
Thank you.
So we are right now at the Smart Studios. That's quite a historical place, isn't it? So what happened here already?
Hysterical.
Hysterical.
Hysterical place.
So loads of recordings and stuff. So who produced already here?
This is the room where we cut all the basics to the new album, and it's the studio's been here for over 10 years, and we've done a lot of different albums here. And this board that you can't really see behind us is a vintage Trident console that many other bands, like a lot of great records are made on, and we're lucky to have it here. All of the garbage stuff went through.
Led Zeppelin used this board.
We've got this room. Okay, so there is your new album appearing, Beautiful Garbage. It's a brilliant, sexy work of music, really wonderful. I just heard it half an hour ago and I'm really, wow, impressed. So are you satisfied so far?
Well, now that you said that, yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Sexy, yeah, we like that, that's good.
Sexy, yeah. Especially the one song, Shut Your Mouth. It's about people shouldn't comment a lot and shouldn't give their opinion on everything. Why should they more shut up?
No, it's not. It's quite the opposite from that, actually. It's just like when you're sort of bombarded with a lot of information and you're trying to sort of make sense of everything and sense of the world. And it's about just sort of taking a moment to, rather than just react immediately, is just like to try and sort of hold your ground for a moment and just get composed before you say something or do something or, you know, react to something in a negative fashion, really.
So think before you talk.
It's kind of. It was really, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Very succinct. Thank you.
So and another brilliant song also, Can't Cry Those Tears Anymore. It seemed that you're bored of some things, that you don't get hurt anymore that fast. So is this what you've learned within the years? Not getting hurt that much anymore?
Well, we came up with the song initially and we wanted to sort of use the sort of old school big Phil Spector production and take that into a sort of modern forum and make a sort of classic 60s sounding pop song with a twist from 2001. And so we had the music in place and the melody was in place, and I wanted to find like a classic sort of line, you know, from that would fit into the song. And so I came up with the title, Can't Cry These Tears Anymore, and I just worked round that title. So, and the song is just like, yeah, it's about moving on, just leaving things behind and facing forward.
That's good. Drive You Home, that was one song where I got really goosebumps, and I think it's already one of my personal top 10 greatest love songs. So you want to thank somebody? Is it your husband?
Well, it's a love song of sorts. I mean, it's also a sort of song dealing with, you know, the trying to find a balance in a relationship, making it healthy for both parties. So it's a very universal song. You know, obviously, I mean, everything that I write is going to come from something in my own life or my own past or my imagination or whatever it is. But thank you. I mean, I take that as a huge compliment.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the reaction of your husband are in this very moment when he's hearing something like this, something very personal.
Well, I think unless you'd have to go and visit him in Scotland and see, ask him yourself.
So do you have nowadays better access to your emotions, because it's very personal? I think the most personal song I've heard from you. Is it nowadays easier for you to show your emotions?
Yeah, I think just as a musician in general, you have to be prepared to maybe risk something And maybe in the past I've been guilty of holding back because I was fearful of exposing myself. And on this record, I sort of took a step up and you know, thought that I would try and say really what was in my heart as opposed to what was in my head. It was a deliberate, conscious attempt to do that. And I'm still sort of, you know, the men in the band have been playing in bands for years, but I haven't really sung in a band for years. I always played keyboards, or guitar, and so when I joined Garbage, it was the first time I'd really stepped up as a singer, and so it's still a new thing for me. I'm still learning about writing, and so it's exciting process. But I think everybody in the band has come to that point on this record. We've really sort of tried to push ourselves and, you know, keep it really human.
Does it make things more complicated if everybody has these opinions and everybody's producing, or is it easier that everyone is sort of involved in this production thing?
It makes it more complicated.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, naturally, it gets a little. It gets a little messy sometimes, but for the most part, we all pretty much agree on things. We all have kind of the same likes and dislikes in music, and I think on this record we were heading more, all four of us, in pretty much the same direction. So there weren't a whole lot of like heated arguments.
But I think in those kind of work you learn a lot about egos and things, so a lot about human stuff as well, besides the musical things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
well, I've always said from the start I have a raging one. A very unhealthy ego.
I think loads of musicians do need to have this.
Yeah, you have to have it to survive, or you're just going to be dismantled by the first bad review you ever read, you know.
So that gets better with the years also, reading reviews?
No.
I've stopped reading them.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's just ignoring them, that's the way to come out. Okay, but within the years you've sold so many records, and I read once in an interview that you said the only thing you did was just making a good record and that's it. But for making a yummy good rock soup, what else do you have to add in besides making a good record?
What did you call it there?
A
yummy big rock soup.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm going to steal that.
Okay. So there's some charm. We need charm. We need a good singer. We need what else? What else is it? Also some.
You need
spotlights.
Drive, and you need luck and chemistry. I mean, that's something that we were talking about last night. We're sort of a motley crew of individuals, and we're lucky that we do share a sensibility, but we argue about things all the time, and I think that we're lucky that we can let that part of it go. You know, sometimes it gets to the point where we disagree on things, but then you sort of have to give up your own ego and sort of go with what is the best thing for the band in terms of the song or whatever we're doing. And I think that we're lucky that we can do that, because I know a lot of bands become dysfunctional when that happens, and that's part of what the equation that makes us who we are.
From the outside, it all the whole rock business looks like, oh, we are friends, let's do something together. But probably from the inside, it's more.
They're all
yeah, waiting to
private.
see waiting. All these egos, this meeting. Yeah.
Lots of egos.
You're kind of making me want to get out of the business.
Really? No. There are some good things about it. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
there are good things.
Let's talk about the good things. What's your personal greatest success within Garbage? What was the most impressive thing happened to you?
I think for me, just the fact that we started out and nobody knew who we were. We didn't have a long history of playing tiny clubs and driving around in a van. You know, we made our first record and we went on tour and nobody thought we could do it. And we proved everybody wrong, really. We turned into this touring band that's been in the last tour. We were in like 33 countries, and you know, all these people we played for, these giant festivals and little clubs, and you know, really got to see the world, and we really showed people that we could be a live band. Yeah, they didn't think we could pull it off live. They didn't think we would sound good, and we showed them, I think.
Yeah. So what's more exciting, playing in small clubs or in big festivals?
It's kind of cool to go back and forth, because there's great things about both, you know. But I don't know, it's almost more scary to play in a small club when you can see every individual face and you're wondering what each of them is thinking. But then again, to go out in front of, you know, 60,000 people at a festival, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. But it's also, I think, a great challenge playing at the festivals, because the 60,000 people probably came for the other lineup, and then they're standing there and they want you to see.
You have to win them over.
Yeah.
You have to work hard.
So probably that's more work.
Different.
We just pretend that they're all there to see us.
Okay. I once heard Courtney Love in an interview saying that she saw a concert with you and the crowd adored you, especially Shirley, and she said that women deserved this, but 15 years ago it was completely different and the crowd was really, really bad. And I mean, you're in business now for quite a long time, so what was the main thing, that magnificent changes that happened within the last time being a woman on stage?
I don't know if, I mean, I've been playing in rock bands since I was 15, so I don't know if I ever felt that, you know, there was a problem for me on stage. I mean, I have not encountered it myself. I've always been treated really well by the audience. I think what's changed about the industry is there's way more women with diverse talents who are getting some attention. It's not just one type of female, i.e. a very pushy, aggressive type female like perhaps me or Courtney. You know, we're very upfront, we can fight a man's game, but there's a lot of women who can't or don't want to do that, and they too are now getting some attention. They don't have to stand up and shout and make a big fuss. Their talent themselves is bringing the attention for them on their own terms, and that's what's really important and amazing about the past 15 years, because I don't think that would have happened 15 years ago, you know.
So all these diverse characters.
Absolutely.
On stage.
And it's just great that you're seeing a whole gamut of different types of women and different voices and different attitudes.
Okay, that's wonderful. But I think there's still a lot of work to do for women on stage. And
I'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much on stage, because when you're on stage, you're usually with people, you know, who've come to see you. It's more in terms of the way women are perceived in society. It's not just the music industry. It's across the board, you know. And it's disappointing, but I think that there is progress and there will continue to be progress. And the strange thing is, though, of course, that when the role of women changes in society, it tips the balance somewhat, because it's always been in favour of men. And now I think men are struggling with, well, what's our place, what's our role? And I just think everyone should just be cool and sit it out and see where things lie, and not get too angry or feel that people are taking things away from them, you know. It's a matter of finding a balance.
Where there's not a balance, I think, is about talking about sex. If men talk about sex, they do it all the time, then it's no big deal. But if women do it, then it's the big headline. And what could we do if men and women get equal in this kind of thing? Is it more to talk more about sex? Women should talk more about it? Or
no, I don't think equality equals being the same as. I mean, I think equality means the same opportunities, the same treatment, the same amount of respect. But I think men and women are intrinsically really different. And so men are always going to be maybe a little more visually stimulated than women, or maybe a little more aggressive in the sports field than women. You know, of course we're different beasts, but it's about finding harmony, living together as equals, to me. So I don't think it's anything really to do with, well, if a man can talk about a woman's big breasts, I can talk about a man's big cock. If a man can drink, you know, 50 beers, I can too. I mean, any girl who's trying to emulate a foolish male's behaviour is also a fool, you know.
But I think it's no foolish man behaviour to talk about masturbation or those things. I think it's needed to talk about it, and I think it's really sad that women don't do it.
I do.
You do?
And I talk
do
about
as well. Well, I think there's a lot to do still, and I think it's good that women talk about it in public. So, a big position as a role model. Aren't you sometimes scared of all this responsibility coming down to you?
Occasionally, you know, you get a bit freaked out. I think you suddenly become aware, oh God, you know, my behaviour may sort of cause some kind of effect in somebody else's life. But on the whole, I think you just have to really live your life in the way that you wish, that you deem appropriate, and hope then that it doesn't cause a negative effect on someone else. I think that's all you can really hope for, because I can't take the responsibility on of, you know, 8 million fans. It's ludicrous. So I just try and live my life the way I deem appropriate and hope for the best.
Yeah, because lots of musicians don't do this. They take drugs, they've got their groupies, and they say it public, and I think that's not a good thing to be a role model and, you know.
Well, I would love groupies, but I don't have any, so...
You don't have any? I'm wondering. No, that can't be true.
That's true.
Every one of my friends love you. Can't be true. They would take it.
They would be a bit frightened, though, I think, if they met me in real life.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think
Why?
so. Because I'd eat them for breakfast.
I think so. Yeah, that's one of those things, because, you know, women in rock are always like the divas or the bitchy girls. Do you think you are, or is it more that media made the diva out of you?
I think I can be a diva, I can be bitchy, but I think for the most part, considering the kind of lifestyle I lead and what demands are made on my time, and I think I'm okay. I mean, I can only hope to be okay, you know. I make mistakes, I piss people off, but you know what? They piss me off too, so it's okay.
The next year will be a very successful year again, year for you. So what do you expect from this year? What should it bring?
From this year?
Yeah.
Well, we're sort of in a state of shock because we just finished the record. I mean, literally, we got back from New York City yesterday, and I don't think it's sunk in yet. And it's probably going to take us about 6 months to get a perspective on what we made. But I think we're pretty excited. We're going to start gearing up for a tour, which probably won't, a proper tour probably won't start till January, but we're going to start working on the video and probably be doing some TV appearances and things in August and September. And it's I think for us it's also great now to get out of the studio, that we've birthed this thing, and it's time to sort of, you know, come out to the public with it and see if we get any sort of reaction from our fans. And I know that we love playing live too, and that's sort of once you've created the songs and you get to go out and sort of celebrate them on stage every night. And the last tour was amazing, and we're sort of hoping that we'll be able to pick up where we left off and go all over the world again, because it's a pretty amazing experience.
And isn't it like being on tour? Sometimes I'm really scared of seeing, you know, people after 1.5 years being on tour. Isn't it that you think, oh my God, it's again this? Or are you really looking forward to the special kick on stage?
No, it's more
sometimes,
like, oh my God.
Is it? A bit?
No, we're looking forward to playing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the highlights of this whole experience, is the show every night. Going to Europe and playing all over the place and all over the world, really. So I think we're looking forward to that. The traveling wears you down a bit, but it comes with the territory.
Which territory is the best? I mean, there are different
Germany,
reactions.
definitely.
German, really?
Every country's different, and I think the coolest thing is that our songs seem to translate to a lot of different places. And when we, as a joke, when we started Garbage, we wanted to be an international pop band. We just didn't want to play in the UK or just, you know, where Shirley's from, or play in the US here. And because we'd never been to all these places. I'd never been to Germany. I'd never been to Spain or France or Australia or Japan or Israel and South Africa. And we went to all these places, and the reaction from the audience was amazing. And that's really what turns you on and keeps you going. As they said, that you get absolutely fatigued from the crazy hours and from the traveling and stuff, but the 2 hours you're on stage every night are the biggest adrenaline rush you get from anything, and it's very addictive. That's why we want to do it again.
Das war sie jetzt, eine Stunde rund um Garbage, um eine tolle Frau, tolle Männer und tolle Musik. Ich hoffe, euch hat es gefallen. Ihr könnt mir gerne eure Kritik zuschicken. Ich freue mich über Post und werde das bestimmt auch alles lesen. Leider komme ich nicht immer zum Beantworten der Post, aber ich freue mich trotzdem immer, eure Meinung zu lesen. So, das war's jetzt von Turok. Ich wünsche euch noch einen super schönen Abend. Macht's es gut, dicke Bussis an. Baba, bis bald.
Wurde präsentiert von Visions.